What do you think for these young 20-something-year-olds, what do you think they're missing?
Overall, they're missing the connections with like-minded people.
Are you seeing any common themes around the businesses that these young entrepreneurs are in? Are they all kind of going to online e-commerce, or are you seeing a shift back?
So there's a wide range actually, which is quite remarkable. At the beginning, there were a lot more service-based businesses, but as we've started putting out a lot more...
Time to get fired up. Yeah, I'm getting fired up.
Your thoughts can become plans, plans can become actions, and actions become a reality. We share powerful stories and simple steps to fast track your business and personal growth. Are you ready to make it happen? Let's get fired up. Today, I'm joined here with two passionate entrepreneurs who have founded the largest networking community for future leaders in their 20s. Selling out venues such as SeaWorld Resort on the Gold Coast, their events are completely free to attend. They simply want to try and give back to the future generation. I'd like to introduce everyone to Campbell, Guthrie and Wright. Welcome back to the Fired Up podcast. We are here today with the Fxrge boys who do run Entrepreneurs Networking business, which is awesome in today's environment. I think the young up-and-coming entrepreneurs need exactly what you guys are operating. But I'm curious to start with, why did you even start this? How did it all happen?
Yeah, so back in 2021, we were really looking for a group of people who we could connect with like that we've created now, but nothing existed. So we took it out of our own minds to go and do it ourselves. And it actually started as a book club. We were reading Think and Grow Rich, and in chapter 4, they say start a mastermind. So we started a book club called the Mastermind Group. And from there, again, it failed because we didn't quite get the engagement. And that's when we really wanted to provide real big value to our consumer and to the community. And that's where the Fxrge was born.
So was the first get together just you and a bunch of mates that you knew, or were they strangers initially?
Yeah, so initially there was a couple of us who were mates, and then there were friends of friends who came on board. And overall, yeah, it just kind of grew from there. It started with friends to share it to your friends, and then we started getting traction in social media.
Tell me about the name Fxrge. Where did that come from, and why is it spelt Fxrge? This might be for you, Campbell.
Yeah, I would say the Fxrge was actually Isaac's idea. We wanted something that embodied what we're trying to do and how your entrepreneurship journey sort of goes. You need to go through the fires and trials of tribulations in order to come out stronger. That's what the Fxrge sort of symbolized to us, is how can we go through something that might be tough and come out stronger. The X, we can play around and say it was because we wanted to be exceptional, but ultimately it came down because we wanted to use the domain. we couldn't get the Fxrge domain with an O, so we're like, what's the next best thing? We'll just chuck an X in there. So
Gotcha. So this was, when did you say it started again?
2021.
21. So here we are back into 2024. A lot's happened in that time, which we'll get into in the coming episode. After you've done these initial book clubs and things, and you think, hey, we've kind of got something here because it doesn't exist and there seems to be some appetite and desire for it. What did you guys actually plan to do next? What did you want this thing to become?
So Isaac and I spent a lot of time thinking about how we can grow this, but the book club did fail, right? We couldn't get that engagement. We couldn't get that buy-in from people in order to read the books, in order to come back and sort of share their insights on it. So okay, how can we provide such good value? And that's why we started with the events, providing extreme value, growing it from there. And that's sort of what we wanted to do in order to, surround yourselves with like-minded people, learn from credible entrepreneurs. Basically, surround yourselves with the 5 best people.
And playing off that as well is we wanted from the very beginning to learn from the mistakes of successful people so we don't repeat them. The concept was the same with the book. If they pour 20 years of their life into that book, that's 20 years of mistakes we don't have to make and give up in our own time. And the same concept came through with the events, with the speakers coming through. We want to learn from their mistakes, their successes, and their knowledge so we don't have to do that ourselves.
Do you think that the 20-something-year-olds don't read books or don't want to, and there's another form of engagement that they're looking for?
So I believe that comes down to school killing the love for reading for a lot of people. So this sparked my love for reading again, and now I read a book every 2 weeks. So it comes down to what people value at that given time. And there can be all sorts of things which stop them from doing that. And it just doesn't become a priority. I'm not saying that they necessarily wouldn't want to.
Now, you guys Gold Coast based, so the events on the Gold Coast.
Yep.
Talk us through the cycle. Do you run an event a week, one a month? Who's coming? How do you select them? Give us the whole kind of rundown on how the model works?
So the way it works is we hold an event on the last Friday of every second month, and we do that to, I guess, connect with like-minded people in their 20s. So it's only for 20-year-olds, and they learn from ultra-successful entrepreneurs. So our last event was with Michael Pell. He's a very successful property investor, runs his own property firm. He came in and shared how you can buy your first house. So the events sort of run, again, they have a speaker component, but ultimately it all comes down to that network and connecting with people you just understand you. They're driven individuals. They're like you. They understand your drive for success. And that's sort of what the events are.
Now, I had the privilege of speaking at one of your events,
Absolutely.
so thank you for the invitation. And look, to give you some feedback on it, it works because I've made a couple of really great relationships out of that. We're doing business together. We're working together. But I guess when it comes down to asking for a speaker, you mentioned you want to talk to people who have been there, done that, people who are successful, who can share their stories and insights. But what do you think for these young 20-something-year-olds, I'm going to say that, what do you think they're missing, or what are you trying to give them that you think that they haven't seen through the Fxrge experience?
So overall, they're missing the connections with like-minded people.
Yeah.
But why is that? Is that because it's just all scroll now?
No, I'd say they're missing it because a lot of the values of somebody who's in their early 20s may be more to enjoy life, to party and to drink, and that may not necessarily align with some people to do so.
Yeah.
So when they find this group of people who understand them, who get them, they don't have to over-explain everything. That's a really powerful thing. And that speaker is that draw card just to get them to the event, to the real value where it is.
And what we found as well is that no one really cares that much about the speaker. They only care about the connections. And we had someone come up to us after the last event saying she loved what we're doing. She's from the sunny coast. She couldn't find anyone who was like-minded like her, wanted to be an entrepreneur at her age. It was impossible. So to be able to have a network, a community of people just like that, who are just like her, she absolutely loved it.
Yeah, right. So over the 3-4 years you've been doing this now, you've obviously met a lot of young entrepreneurs in different phases. I remember when I was at the speaking event, show of hands, who's got a job, who's got a sideline hustle, who's all in. And there was a great mix there, right? You've got a great mix of people. But now that you've met a lot of these young entrepreneurs and you've heard their stories, their success stories, their failures and stuff, what would you say is some of the feedback around the fundamental things that some of them are really missing or need to learn in order to be successful in today's market?
It's all about connections. Like I keep putting it back to that, but I feel like that's what us as 20-year-olds are really struggling with. They're struggling to find those people. Again, my favorite quote is just some of the 5 people you spend the most time with. I personally feel that if you can connect with those people, you can figure out what you want to do after that. As long as you have people on the same drive, the same wavelength as you can sort of figure out and struggle through and fail and learn from your business mistakes and go from there.
Look, for my just feedback on that, because I think it's awesome to go to these things and connect with people and stuff, but the fundamental difference is there's people who watch, there's people who read, there's people who listen, and then there's people who do. And there's a very big difference between those who do and those who just wish they could. And that's why I hammered down so much on that discipline aspect when I was at that event, because you can sit there and talk about it all day. Oh, great idea, I'm going to do this, I've got marketing plans, I'm going to reach out to that person. But so many people actually don't follow through. I can't remember how many was in the room, maybe 85, 90 people. But 3 people reached out to me after that event. And like I said, we spoke, we're doing business together. What happened to the other 87?
Yeah.
What did they do or take from it?
So we have a saying they're called the gunner crew. They're going to do this, they're going to do that. And overall, they promise the world and nothing truly happens when 6-12 months goes by. But again, you got to target the masses in order to hit the minority.
Yeah.
And if we can provide value to some people who, let's say they're in the gunner crew at the moment, but over time their values may change, and they may become part of that action crew or the doers, as you were saying.
From the speaker point of view, you guys obviously don't pay for speakers at this point. That may change down the track as you want to try and value that up. But how do you go through the selection criteria of that? Are you kind of blasting out a whole bunch of people who you'd be keen to and just see who bites at it? Or is there a specific plan that you're following in terms of the content?
Well, that's a good point that you brought up, right? These events are completely free. We simply just want to provide value and give back to the younger generation. And that's sort of one of our criteria is when we reach out to speakers. Are you someone who also wants to just give back, provide value to the younger generation to help them create into the future leaders? How we select speakers is, again, we utilize the past speakers network they often have multiple people who they would suggest who can come and give a speech or to come and provide value. So we're looking for people who are like us, who want to just simply provide value, give back to the younger generation, and then ultimately have something that we can learn as well.
Yeah, nice. Are you seeing any common themes around the businesses that these young entrepreneurs are in? Are they all kind of going to online e-commerce, or are you seeing a shift back to some of the old school business?
So there's a wide range actually, which is quite remarkable. At the beginning, there were a lot more service-based businesses, but as we've started putting out a lot more advertising on social media, we're getting a wide range of like product-based businesses and per se. And I think we can put that down to it's no longer just within friendship circles anymore. It's starting to get a lot of outside reach with who have lots of different experiences to get to that different level.
Awesome. Stick around for the next episode. We're going to talk to these guys about where they see the business going in the future and how they can actually expand and add even more value to what they're currently doing. So we'll catch you later. If you've enjoyed this episode, then subscribe on YouTube or follow our podcast on your favorite platform. We drop a new episode every week. You'll be doing us a massive favor. If you know someone that would benefit from listening to this, then share it with them. You'll be doing them a massive favor. And if you want the tips, tools, and resources to support you on this journey, then join our exclusive Facebook community and follow our socials. You'll be doing yourself a massive favor.